Oras na
para sa
The Untitled KPop Podcast.
The views and opinions of this program are those of the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the Kingdom Podcast. The show might include strong images and language that may not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
After 3 long years,
Welcome back, Commander.
here we are again.
Say what?
Again with the angst, the controversy, and wit that can withstand anything or anyone it's up against. Here to give you the scoop about K-pop and other crap you can think of, the prima donna of K-pop radio is back. Better, stronger, and well, he's still the rowdy asshole everyone expects him to be. Thy kingdom come! Welcome the evil stepchild of SLR the podcast, the Kingdom Podcast. And here he is, the man of the hour, the best among the rest, and your resident K-pop critic, the voice, DJ Yuuki.
Hey, welcome back to the podcast. It is a Saturday night in the Philippines, the 27th of March, 2021. This is Yuuki. This is the 52nd episode of the Kingdom Podcast, brought to you by Anchor.fm. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and on Anchor, all in the same name at the Kingdom Pod PH. The show will be available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcasts. And boy, oh boy, do we have a podcast-centered show for all of you. A lot of you guys probably started doing podcasting, not necessarily in K-pop, but podcasting in general. You know, it's in an all-time high now, and I used to, look at other podcasts. Sobrang konti lang talaga. It's a very small amount, and when the pandemic started, it's like they keep on popping up, like podcast here, podcast there. Ang dami na nagpo-podcast, and I'm really super happy, to be honest. I don't see it in any sort of way as a competition, but more of, like a big, small family that we have, because I've been doing this for a while now, and it gets lonely na ikaw lang yung gumagawa ng podcast, and then here comes like other people, like my sisters from Spill the Soju, and then my brothers in arm here from this podcast, which I will be introducing to you guys. I don't know if you guys know of their podcast, because their podcast is super funny. I think they're funnier, even funnier than me sometimes. And it's super cool because they have a very unique concept of sort of kind of reviewing past and present albums, which is super great, because sometimes as K-pop fans, I've been in the scene for 11 years now. Like, I've been listening to K-pop for 11, 12 years now. And nakakalimutan mo yung mga kanta eh. Sometimes like, ay, gaganda pala ng mga kanta dito sa album na to. And you tend to forget because of the amount of songs that you hear. But then these two awesome dudes here have just been reviewing and putting in their 2 cents on the albums past and present, which I super love and am super excited to be on the show. So please, without further ado, please welcome on the show Airo and Rocky of the Untitled K-pop Podcast. Hi, guys.
Hi, Yuuki.
Oh man, I'm really sorry. I tend to be very talkative. Nadaldal lang talaga ako. So thank you very much for guesting here on the pod. How are you guys doing amidst the pandemic? Are you still alive?
Mostly fine.
Mostly
Coping.
fine. Right? Gusto ko yung word na yun.
Sanity intact.
Yeah, I like that word. Gusto ko yung word na yun. Coping. Fucking A, man. This pandemic. Obviously, we're not going to be political about it, but it's so difficult, like, being, just going through this pandemic. But we have our podcasts to, basically distract us, in lack of proper term, from this pandemic. And you guys let me just say, you guys are really funny on the show. I've listened to probably, I'm not going to lie to you, I haven't listened to all of the shows, but I listened to probably a good 5-6 episodes already, and I especially like the one recent episode, like when you reviewed Overdose, because it's like super cool. You guys are, I like it because like what I said earlier, we tend to forget what are the things that we listened to back then, and then here you guys are just reviewing each album, and talagang it's a refreshing concept. Who thought of the concept?
I did.
You did.
Yeah. Kasi I'm the one who doesn't listen to K-pop eh.
Holy
So,
shit. Okay, that's super cool.
Yeah. We have a group chat, so my friend group kami, they're all listening to K-pop except me. So very much FOMO lang talagang nararamdaman ko every time they're talking about K-pop.
Right. And
so yung
Yep, you were saying? Sorry.
and go.
So when you thought of the concept, did you even think of like, let's do a podcast? Or nagsimula lang siya na, bigyan nyo nga ako ng mga K-pop songs na pakikinggan? Is it something like that?
We were joking around na dati pa na we should start a podcast kasi I introduced them to some. So, Airo. So, I've been listening to podcasts mga 2016, so recent din lang.
Oh shit, okay.
Then, ayun, joking around lang, we should start a podcast. And then, medyo sineryoso ko around August, September. Then, thought of the concept na since FOMO nga ako lagi every time they're talking about K-pop.
Right.
Sabihin ko, sige, you suggest an album to me, tas we'll listen to it, tas yun yung podcast.
That's
So,
awesome.
Airo agreed.
That's awesome. And Airo, it's been a while since you've been a fan, right?
Yeah, I've been a fan like I think I super stand K-pop like nung nakilala ko yung EXO, when I encountered EXO, like EXO started it for me way back 2013. And
All right.
Since then, parang I discovered new artists every year. Though there are times na hindi ako nakinig, or like I lied low sa K-pop kasi nga people tend to like, if malaman nilang you're listening to K-pop, like people tend to like, ang baduy, ang jologs, or like,
right.
So as a cool kid, quote unquote cool kid,
Okay.
I tried to secretly listen to K-pop. And usually kasi yun lang talaga, parang EXO lang talaga din yung tumatak sa akin that time. So, yun.
So, EXO's debut song was what? Was it? What's the title of that song? You sang it. Yeah, there, Mama. You sang it on the Overdose episode. Yeah. So, Mama was great. Was Wolf okay for you?
I think Wolf is the I Got a Boy or
Oh man,
EXO.
really? Oh man, I don't even know if I can agree with you on that. I secretly like
I really love I Got a Boy. I really love I Got a Boy.
I know Rocky didn't, right?
Yeah.
Our friend group likes I Got a Boy except me and another
We're
friend.
judging you then. I'm kidding. So, Airo, you were saying earlier about the podcast. So when Rocky tapped you to say, "Uy, host naman tayo ng podcast. Let's try this out." What was your reaction to it? Were you really all into it or pinag-isipan mo pa?
Since ako, cloud chaser. I'm a cloud chaser kind of a person.
Uh-huh.
So, gusto ko ng fame.
Right.
Ginagawa ko to lahat for my fame. So, yun.
Exactly.
Pati parang yun nga, way before pa naman din, like, meron kami mga shows na pinapanood, may mga podcast kami pinapanood ni Rocky. Quote-unquote pinapanood. Yun nga, parang we're joking around na din with this idea of starting a podcast, maybe like, kung ano, like mga topics, like games, or like RuPaul's Drag Race or anything. Tapos yun nga, parang nagkaroon lang kami talaga ng aha idea when Rocky told me na, yun nga, gusto niya mag-start ng podcast. Like, tas ganito yung concept. And since I'm a very, like, I listen to K-pop like every day for 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So, yun.
So it
Very
started.
excited din ako.
So it started with EXO for you. I'll get to Rocky in a little bit. I have a few questions for both of you guys, but before we get to our first commercial break, I'd like to ask Airo here. So EXO started it for you, but are they their bias group? Are they still your bias group now, or because they're inactive? Hindi na?
Yes, parang EXO will always hold a special place in my heart for like dun sa K-pop playlist ko. Pero right now, since I know na medyo inactive yung EXO and matatagalan yung comeback nila as a whole
Sadly.
unit, nag-discover ako ng new artists na pwedeng pumalit sa EXO.
Does this
from the time being.
does this artist rhyme with BTS? Yeah, are you in the craze as well? Na, Dynamite. Are you in that as well? Because
No.
I'm so all
No,
over that.
no.
Oh shit! Really?
We hate it.
Oh my god! What? Why?
Wala nang batumpi-tumpi pa. We don't like BTS.
Holy shit! Really? Why so? Why so? Okay, no. Don't answer that. Later. That's a topic for everyone. Okay, so who's your bias group now, or who's the group that you're mostly listening to, Airo?
Day 6. Right now,
Oh
it's Day
shit!
6.
Yeah, that's a good group. They're a really good group. Which label are they from? Agency?
JYP.
JYP, right? Oh man, they have. You know what? Things about JYP that I really hate, and we normally talk about it
Same.
on the podcast. Yeah, we're not gonna address that, but I hope for the best for Day6 because they're already not an up and coming group anymore. They're kind of like not old, but not young as well, and they've been there for a while. And I don't think that probably this is their turning point because GOT7 already left JYP, and probably they're gonna focus on them. But we still don't know since they have another boy group, right?
Yeah, Stray Kids.
Stray Kids. Oh man, yeah, Stray Kids.
And the thing with Day6, they're not your typical boy group. They're kind of a band.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's harder to market them on the general K-pop public.
Yeah, I agree with that. And we probably saw that with I don't know, Rocky, if you know C and Blue.
No.
Yeah, that's a different. You probably know them, Ira, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, CN Blue is kind of another band that they had back then, and it worked at some point. But yeah, but you're really right. It's harder to market, a band. I can probably give you like a big example right now. There is, Mamamoo's label RBW has this two groups that has almost the same name. So there's One Us and then there's One We. One Us is the boy group, and then One We is the band, and One Us is getting really a lot of attention nowadays compared to One We. So that probably gives you an idea on how they market, or how the band market goes in South Korea, because it's a very different playing field. But Ira, so you're listening to Day6. What about girl groups?
Right now ITZY. Like ITZY is like my top tier girl group for now.
I love it. Yes, I told my girlfriend because we're big Mamamoo fans. We're Mumus, and then I told her, kung magdidisband na yung Mamamoo this year because it's their 7th year and 2 of their members aren't renewing their contracts, I'm gonna go all in on ITZY. Like their last song, Not Shy, was so great. How did you guys like it? I haven't listened to your first episode yet.
We liked it generally. We 2 songs in the EP we didn't care for. The
True.
2 middle ones.
Yeah, the 2 middle ones.
The
I agree.
EP as a whole, this is the first episode we did, so I liked it very much. It was my introduction to ITZY too, and ITZY probably my top girl group as well.
Oh, really? Wow, that's
Yeah.
interesting. Okay, so yeah, we're all into the ITZY, Chris, which is super great. Rocky, are you more into boy groups or girl groups in musicality?
For me, napansin ko, I mostly listen to the boy groups kasi I can relate to it more.
Right.
Yeah, so Day6 is my top group as well. So I was really surprised when we listened to it. Parang they're the type of music that I generally listen to. So sila yung finalo ko talaga after doing that episode. Then I also like 17. I think they're much better than BTS.
Ooh, okay.
Very.
And okay,
Then, yeah.
we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But yeah, you know what? I want to get into that topic sooner than we think. So let's get to our first commercial break. When we come back, we have the awesome duo of the Untitled K-pop Podcast, Rocky and Airo here. So please do not go away. This is the Kingdom Podcast.
Hey, this is Jacques, aka Arcady Blog, and you're listening to the Kingdom Podcast with the voice DJ Yuuki.
Hey you. Doing this podcast thing for years now, I've always been an advocate to start your own podcast. Regardless if you talk about K-pop, science, news, politics, showbiz, start doing it because podcasting is growing very quickly, not just in the Philippines, but also worldwide. There's a whole lot of new shows out there, and we as podcasters need to stay informed in order to stay relevant. The best way to do that is with data, numbers, and analytics. Something to keep track of how you're doing. And the best way to get it all in one place is Podmetrics, your one-stop shop for all your podcast data needs. Podmetrics combines data from Anchor, Spotify, Chartable, Facebook Live, and YouTube in order to show you the real picture of how your show is doing. And when you know your show, you can grow your show. The best part is it's absolutely free. Sign up now at podmetrics.co. That's podmetrics.co. And don't forget to use the referral code The Kingdom Podcast. No spaces. Podmetrics, the only analytics you'll ever need for your podcast.
Hey everyone, Mo Twister here. Just as long as my guy Yuuki here is talking about Jenny Kim, then I'm all over this podcast. You're listening to the Kingdom Podcast with the voice DJ Yuuki.
Welcome back to the podcast. This is basically the time where I invite you to go to anchor.fm/thekingdompodph/report. You can donate as low as 99 cents via the Anchor account that we have to help us keep the show moving forward, keep the show going. So please, if you, enjoy what you hear and you want to help basically us continue doing the podcast, go to anchor.fm/thekingdompodph/support. You guys do that? Airo, Rocky? Do you guys ask for donation as well? Are you that needy? Like myself?
We want to.
Why not? Feeling ko tuloy.
Masyado lang kaming tamad to like insert stuff.
Actually.
Fair enough. Yeah, ako feeling ko tuloy napaka-needy ko. Uy, bigyan nyo naman ako ng 99 cents. Pocha naman. Parang ganun yung paramdam ko.
I mean, we would love for people to give us 99 cents, pero
Right?
we're just too lazy.
Okay, you guys gotta do that. You guys, if you guys don't know, this is Airo and Rocky of the Untitled K-pop Podcast. You can follow them on Twitter. It's at Untitled K-pop Pod. Who thought of the title? I actually think it's very original.
Rocky did.
Kasi so we planned to record the first episode without a title yet.
Right.
Then we said we're going to workshop some titles during the course of the episode, pero that didn't happen. So inisip na lang namin Untitled K-pop Podcast. Then we put the burden of thinking of a title to the guest.
You know what?
We're lazy.
You told me earlier, but if you guys, to the listeners of the Kingdom Pod, I'm going to be guesting on their pod as well. So that'll be releasing around mid-April, so you guys got to wait for that. They asked me to give a possible name for their podcast, and to be honest, I couldn't think of any. I think you guys should keep this. I really think you should.
This is going to be a gimmick of the show forever.
Yeah,
So
right?
just-
I mean, you just ask the guests for magandang title ng podcast. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. To be honest, it's not a bad idea. I like it.
Yeah.
So, do you guys have your own socials that you'd like to plug, maybe?
Ako at Rocky Ursulino lang. ROCKYURSOLINO. Si Airo, di ko sure kasi naka-private yung mga social media accounts niya.
Right.
You can follow me on Instagram at the Iron Man. Makikita nyo din yung some of my works. So if magpa-plug
What kind of work are we talking about?
If you guys don't know, I'm a professional landscape architect. So if you have
Holy shit.
any landscape architectural design needs, you can contact me through Instagram. So meron dong 2 ata of my recent projects posted.
That's awesome. So on Instagram at the Iron Man, AIRONMAN. THEAIRONMAN, right?
Yes.
That's awesome. Okay, guys. Well, again, welcome back to the show. We're still with me, Yuuki, Airo, and Rocky of the Untitled K-pop Podcast. All right. So you guys, I wanted to get this off the table because I've been dying. You guys, if you listen to this pod, I'm all big and Dynamite and like that song. I like how they're progressing right now, but you guys also know that I would never want to be dubbed as an ARMY. I am but a BTS fan. I like their songs. I like them. Like, I don't really watch them, but I like them. And their songs are okay now. I like the Jolly songs better than the Dopes and the Fires and everything. But these two here are very vocal, that saying that they're not really the biggest fan of BTS. And I'd like to ask you guys why. Because arguably they're the biggest group of all time, right? Arguably.
Yeah.
They're already there in the upper echelons. Now, I want to ask you guys, what gives?
Let me go first since Ira has stronger opinions.
Go.
Okay, so, I was introduced to BTS medyo late na rin. They're already up there nung nakilala ko sila around 2018.
Oh, okay.
So yung Mic Drop, yung una
Yeah.
kong song na narinig sa kanila.
Mhm.
So gusto ko siya, pero yun, very western na nga siya. Then when I
Agree.
listened
Mhm.
to a few of theirs, yung more recent songs, hindi lang ako na-impress masyado. We did a BTS episode. Ano ngang album yun, Airo? Love
Love
Yourself.
Love yourself.
Here. Then, feeling ko we were really, restraining ourselves that episode kasi pinili guest namin and she really likes BTS. Pero we weren't really that impressed. Parang ang slow nung songs. Then there's only a few standouts. So yun, so parang hindi ko gets masyado what's the big deal about them. Then the fans are very crazy.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's why I never want to be dubbed as an ARMY. So the guest from that episode was Lynn, right? So
Yeah.
how did she take, the negative review that you had?
Or she agrees din kasi medyo it's our fault din na she chose that album. I told her na she has two choices. So I told her to pick one with less songs so we don't record that long. So yun. Pero the other album she chose has better songs. So yun. Pero yun, she's graceful about it naman.
So basically, you're still friends.
Yes.
You're still friends after. Kasi I've had a few quote-unquote friends and then I bombard their bias group with fucking reviews that they didn't like and now we're not friends anymore. So
Pero she agrees din kasi na the fans are too much.
yeah.
She's not the super duper aggressive, foaming in the mouth kind of ARMY.
Yeah. From the mouth. How about you, Airo? What gives? Ano meron?
Siguro, kasi kilala ko na BTS during yung time kasi almost same era sila ng EXO nag-appear
Yes, that's right.
sa K-pop.
That's right.
Pero yun nga, nag-gravitate ako towards EXO, hindi ko din alam. Pero, actually, kikinig naman ako ng iba nilang songs like Blood, Sweat, and Tears.
Mhm.
Ano pa ba song nila?
Maybe you
Fire.
like Fire din.
Fire. Dope.
Yeah, Anpan Man is really good.
Okay, yeah. Mhm.
Pero kasi, the thing is, feeling ko, nagkaroon ako ng strong, hindi naman hate, na strong idea na ayaw ng BTS because of their aggressive fans. Parang hindi ako makarelate
You know,
sa kanila.
I can't disagree with you on that. People tend to feel negativity towards the group, and it's not necessarily the group's fault, right? Because it's mainly because of probably how they're marketed and how the songs are being produced, or in your case, point taken, because of the aggressive nature of the fans. Yeah, I totally understandable why you guys are not the biggest fan of BTS. It gets to you. as for Airo as a K-pop fan, and then Rocky is being like what your intro says, okay with K-pop, and just starting off as listening to a bunch of groups and a lot of songs. Talagang tas ganyan yung magiging nature ng approach sa'yo ng mga tao. It gets to you.
Yeah. Pero there's some mentions in our chats na BTS is na really coming out against yung behavior ng fans din. So, yun, medyo
Oh shit,
suspicious
really?
din yun.
You know what? To be honest with you, I because I don't follow BTS like how I follow other groups. Hindi ko alam yung mga ganyan. So
May isang reason pa si Airo why he doesn't like BTS.
why?
They're not as good looking.
Ooh. I cannot
keep
comment on
myself
that.
from self-incrimination. So
Wow. Ang lakas makasenado.
hindi kasi ito, like number one priority ko talaga for listening, for standing a group is visuals. So kung yung average visual ng group is below my standard, average visual ha guys, like I'm not saying everyone in
Right.
BTS is not good looking, but like if yung average visual nila is not on par with EXO,
Yeah.
kasi EXO yung standards correct. So like
As
I
far as face is concerned, right? Visuals are concerned.
yes, I'm very like that. I'm a very shallow human being. So
Okay, so apart from you guys, apart from reviewing I say the albums, what are the other things that you do on the pod?
Usually we talk about some chismis.
Right,
Kung
the
ano mang
chismis. Oo nga.
malaman namin that week.
Right.
Pero I don't seek out the news. Kung ano lang Google suggested me sa web browser ko, yun yung binabasa ko. Then i-relay ko yun kina Airo.
Is this a good topic? Is this a good G Suisse topic that we can?
Yes.
I agree. Most of the topics that I get are probably from Google as well. Yung mga recommended. Hey,
Yeah.
G Dragon and Jenny are dating. Okay, cool. Let's talk about it on the pod. So, all right. So the chismes and then the albums, and you guys have been going on and on. It's now your second season, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
So the first season went on for 14 episodes, and then you're currently on your 4th episode for the second season. How are you guys liking the podcasting so far? Are you guys really still into it, or may times na parang ayaw mo na magpod ngayon, ganon? May mga ganon na bang moments?
Ako kasi I'm the one editing. So pag minsan nakakatamad mag-edit. Pero doing the podcast itself, recording, talking with our friends, it's very fun. Parang hangout din lang namin.
Actually,
yeah, it's very fun lalo na ngayon during the pandemic, like it's refreshing like to see your friends talking about the things you love or
Right.
what they love.
I agree. Yeah, it's mainly, if you guys want to start your own podcast, if you listen to this pod or you listen to their pod, you just have to have like a basic idea, and then it's basically just talking. Ganun lang talaga.
Yeah.
Para kayo nag-uusap, like what we're doing right now. We're just talking and sharing you our views and stuff. And it's something that I totally enjoy. I've been doing it for like 5 years now. So, it's something that you should definitely do. Kasi ako, to be honest, I encourage everyone to start their own podcast, regardless if it's K-pop or not. Just start your own podcast. It's super fun. Plus, you get to talk to your friends and have this medium of actually having people listen. So, tulad nga sabi ni Airo, cloud chasing lang tayo. So, yeah, it makes you sort of kind of relevant when it comes to, especially when it comes to K-pop for us. So, you guys, you've been listening to a lot of albums recently, all over the podcast here. Quick question, Airo, what's your top 3 albums?
Of all time, or like
Of
the albums
of all time. Why not?
it will be sige, like Exact by EXO.
Okay, that's your number 1?
No, in no
Oh, in no
random,
particular order, okay.
no particular order. Like
All right.
Exact by EXO. Overdose by EXO. And I think Book of Us, The Demon by Day6.
Oh wow, okay. So Day6 has already crashed your top 3.
Yeah, if not Day6, Coco, The War by EXO. So it's all EXO.
Yeah, that's very unbiased of you. How about you, Rocky? Top 3 so far.
So far dun sa mga we reviewed, uh, what's the title? The Book of Us,
Mm-hmm.
Gravity by
Mhm.
Day6. Wait, I'll check the albums
So there's the
IU
boys.
Bloom. What's it? The
Love
title
Poem.
of IU's album, Love Poem.
Yeah, that's a good song. That's a good album.
Then, wait, I'll check. If I can't think, pero siguro The Demon din by Day6. I really like Day6.
So you got Gravity, The Demon, and then Love Poem by IU.
Yeah.
So what gives? Why is it IU rin? Like, did you actually really enjoy her as a musician and how her songs go?
Yeah, I did. Feeling ko, I relate more to the solo female artists than the girl groups.
Okay.
I don't know why. Pero kasi Western music, I don't really listen to girl groups din.
Right.
Mga solo artists din lang. Or female led bands. So like kunyari, mga Maggie Rogers, Lake Street Drive.
Right.
So yeah, so kay Ayo ako nag-gravitate towards. Pero it's nga I like. Then may bago album si IU. We
IU,
discussed it with our friends then. I
Lilac.
like it very much.
Oh, you've listened to it? I haven't actually listened to it. It's Lilac, right? You haven't listened to it. I think Dean, the rapper, is featured on one of her songs. If I'm not mistaken. Troll, right?
Yeah, Troll.
Yeah, I gotta listen to that. I'm a big IU fan as well. Not really simping over her, but as far as for me, probably when it comes to solo acts, she's probably the best that ever did it. Sincerely. For in the 11 years, and she's what, like around my age, 27, 28. And writes like that even at her early 20s, even before she turned 20. I mean, the talent is just overflowing. So probably I love her mostly as a solo act. So if you're gravitating towards solo acts, like when it comes to the female, so you probably like the Chonghas and the Taeyons as well.
Yeah, we recorded an episode recently with Chongha. We reviewed, anong title yun? Blooming Blue. with
Okay.
Chongha. And
Yeah,
we selected that randomly, that episode. So it's an upcoming episode. And I personally was really surprised because I like the songs. And she's big na, diba? Pero
Yeah.
I haven't really listened to her. And yeah, I like the songs.
You know what? And probably Airo can comment on this. And probably you can talk about it as a topic. Why the hell not? I don't know if I like Chongha better as a solo artist because of the amount of fame that she's getting, or if it would like blow up more immensely if IOI stuck. Because when it comes to the moniker Nation's Girl Group for me, if ever it came to a point that IOI never disbanded, I'm pretty sure 100% they're the Nation's Girl Group. Twice wouldn't stand a chance when it comes to that. And I kept on thinking, like, with the success that Chongha is getting right now, is that more worth it seeing her as a solo artist, or if IOI didn't disband, would that be more worth it compared to the solo act? And I don't know if Airo, did you follow IOI in some sort of capacity?
I have this thing na hindi ako masyadong nakikinig ng girl group kasi
Ooh, okay.
first of all, I'm not attracted to them.
Fair
So,
enough.
ang hirap mag-invest. Tapos, feeling ko din mas nakaka-relate ako sa solo acts in terms like women artist. Kasi yun yung nakasanayan ko like Ariana Grande, Lady Gaga, and everything.
Right.
So yun, with Chungha, I discovered her kasi with 88 Rising eh. Not
Okay.
really
Yeah.
yung sa K-pop discography niya. So,
Yeah.
yun din. I was surprised nung pinakinggan namin yung Blooming Blue by Chunghana. It was really good. That
Mhm.
album was really good.
That's right. Yeah, she's a tremendous artist, like soloist, whatever. Yun nga lang, I didn't really follow IOI kasi I'm not a big fan of the Produce series.
Yeah, yung
Yeah. And
the concept of produce.
yeah, I'm not a big fan. Totally not a fan. I hate it. The Produces, the 16s, yung mga ganon. Ugh. I find it very cringy. And then I got to know of IOI because of their song What a Man, which is such a tremendously good song. And then I felt really bad because when they did What a Man, bawas na sila nun. It's like from 88 naging 7 na lang ata sila or whatnot. I don't know how many they were.
88?
No, I'm kidding. I'm exaggerating. I don't know how many they were. There were a lot. So I don't let me do a Google search really quickly. So there
Wait, ngayon ko na-realize kaya IOI kasi 101
101,
produced
yes.
101.
Yes, that's right. So there are 3 6 9 11 members. And then when they did the What a Man, which is probably their best song, parang mga 8 na lang ata sila or 7. So I felt really, really bad that they had to disband because, they're from different agencies. Because that's why I'm not a big fan of the Produce series, like what they're doing right now with Eyes One. Eyes One is now disbanding kasi nga,
Yes.
iba-iba sila ng companies. And I'm just not a big fan kasi it's all about the money. Like what Jessie J says. Parang kita-kita mo naman na, tara, let's debut them and then wag na natin isipin yung mga fans. Let's just, get on their separate ways. Ganun na lang siya. So, I felt bad seeing Chungha because Chungha's my bias from IOI and seeing her leave for obvious reasons. And then now, seeing her blossom into a solo act. I just can't seem to feel all in or happy seeing her as a solo act when I know IOI disbanded for that to happen. So yeah, I don't know. That's probably just my 2 cents on that. But yeah, Chungha is such a tremendous singer, tremendous dancer. Fuck, sobrang galing niya sumayaw. It's insane. So I'm a big fan. Okay, guys, quick question as a topic. So when I wrote this, I wanted to ask specifically Rocky because Rocky's the one kind of like starting with K-pop now. So what's something intolerable you've encountered in standing K-pop so far?
In standing, I mean, for me personally or in general, everyone.
Like, for you. So have you encountered something na parang ano ba to, pucha? May ganun na ba?
Kasi for me kasi it's mostly about the music then. I mean, what I want to listen to. I don't really seek out the fans or kung ano man yung mga balita about the group. So nalalaman ko nila lang from Airo and our friends what's happening.
Right.
Pero from what I've heard and seen sometimes on Twitter, yeah, the aggressive fans lang talaga. Very off-putting. I mean, I get loving what you love and defending it, pero there should be a limit on what you are willing to do to defend them. Parang as long as you're not hurting anyone else, okay lang sa akin. Okay, you like BTS so much, go. Pero when you're attacking other people, that's a no-no for me.
Regardless of
Yun lang
which
naman.
side you're in, right? Regardless if you're the one attacking them or being attacked by them.
Yep.
So yeah, that's a fair point. How say you, Airo? I know you've been here since 2013, so baka marami ka nang hinanain dyan.
First
First,
siguro is like people are crazy. Like people are super crazy. Then the netizens are super crazy. Like there's this issue one time with Jay of Day 6. Like he just now he deleted his Twitch stream just because people are canceling him for joking around with his friends. Like dude, idols are just human beings like us. Like bigyan niyo sila ng leeway. Hindi sila like your perfect ideal model or anything. So yeah, number one is people are really crazy. I mean, every one of us is crazy. So guys, chill. So yun yung this another one right now. It's like, for me, K-pop is losing its former glory in terms of musicality. Like, the original
Nawala yung
sound.
roots nila.
Yeah, the
okay.
original sound of K-pop. Like, I'm really happy, like, for the episode na we will be recording later with Mr. Mister by SNSD. Like,
Yep.
that kind of sound, the unapologetic K-pop sound of second gen, of early third gen. Yun, parang right now kasi the fourth gens are mostly leaning towards, I'm not saying na hindi siya maganda pa rin. Kasi
Right.
mayroon pa rin naman akong gustong artist right now. Pero it's leaning more towards Western vibes, Western song. Yun nga yung parang point ko of standing K-pop kasi it's different. It's different than the usual songs na pinapakinggan ko.
Right.
So yun yung second. So, ang dami pala. Ano pa ba?
Sino ba? Ano pa?
Tapos yun, parang there is like, yung entertainment companies are just for it na, it's just for money for them. Na hindi nila masyadong inaalagaan or like pinapahalagahan some of their artists. Like what happened to GOT7, what happened to 21. Yeah, yun lang for example, GOT7 and 21.
We were talking din, di ba, yung parang the groups are getting more generic. Parang they're not as distinct as their earlier generations ngayon.
So,
like recently we've talked with like people from our friends from the second episode from the Annual Open na parang they are saying na parang ang daming bilang susupot right now na groups, pero like hindi mo din mapapansin na mawawala sila kasi yung kapalit nila is like the same or like similar facade from that group na biglang nawala. So hindi na siya masyadong distinguishable like parang yung ibang groups for us.
I can't disagree with you on that. There are points where parang K-pop is getting boring. And you feel like sometimes it's because of the musicality of the songs. Like, wait, I've heard of this already. Parang you keep on thinking and then iisipin mo kung saan mo siya narinig and whatnot, and it sounds very Western and blah blah blah. But I guess like in defense to that, the only thing that I can think of is because there's a whole lot of discography that has been done, regardless if it's K-pop or Western already. It's very hard to be sounding original. However, when it comes to the second gen and the early third gen, there is that distinct sound of K-pop that you don't normally hear anymore. And that's probably why a lot of people, not only because they've matured and had families and had different, not necessarily mature, but had different perspectives, and at the same time, parang iba na yung priorities nila in life. That's probably why they stopped standing K-pop. I don't know. I'm not there yet. I can't really imagine it yet. But if ever it comes to that point, then it does tend to become generic because of the amount of songs. Like, oh, I've heard this already. Oh, I know of this concept already. Parang meh. I agree with you. There's probably just something that us fans, especially in the old fandoms, are missing. Which is what we're going to talk about after this commercial break. So when we come back, more of the K-pop goodness from the peeps from the Untitled KPop Podcast. This is the Kingdom Pod. Do not go away, guys.
This is Mo Twister, and you're listening to the Kingdom Podcast with the voice DJ Yuuki.
What's up, simps? How many of you guys use Spotify as your main music or podcast player? On Spotify, you can listen to all your favorite songs or shows, this show included, and choose over a variety of artists and podcasters for your listening pleasure. So don't forget to download Spotify on your smartphones, and in the process, follow me on social media so that you'll know when the Kingdom Podcast will be on air. That's Yuukmeister on Twitter and Instagram. See you there. Hey, podcasters. Podcasting has become a staple when it comes to new things to try, especially here in the Philippines. Check all of them out on your podcast players like Spotify or Apple Podcasts. We also hope you can donate to the show for as low as 99 cents via our Anchor account. You can go to anchor.fm/thekingdompodph/support. We want to get as much content out there as possible, and a small amount like this would definitely help us out to keep the show going. Thanks for listening to the podcast. Now let's get back to the show.
You are listening to the Kingdom Podcast. All our episodes are available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and on Anchor.fm. Your weekly dose of K-pop is now back.
Welcome back to the podcast. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and on Anchor. All in the same name at the Kingdom Pod PH. I'm actually working out something when it comes to affiliation. I can't give you guys more details on that yet. But hopefully we get the gig, and if we do, then it's going to be such a tremendous honor and responsibility for us to continue the podcast, because it's really going to blow up in all sorts of proportions. So I hope you guys keep on supporting the pod, keep listening to the podcast. I know you guys do. A ton of people still listening every episode. So again, thank you guys very much. For our 52nd episode, we still have Airo and Rocky of the Untitled K-pop Podcast here. You can follow them on Twitter at Untitled KPop Pod. We'll be recording my own guesting on their podcast right after this recording of our podcast. So I'm pretty excited. It's been a while since I guested on any sort of podcast, and thank you guys. I'm really honored to guest on your pod, and I'm excited. Like what you said earlier, we'll be talking about the Mr. Mr. album. Something about that album which I miss. Kasi when it comes to groups, probably SNSD is still my bias group. Although, obviously, they're not active anymore, so I started listening to other groups. Pero, yeah, like what Ira said, there's a special place in his heart for EXO. That's probably how I feel about SNSD as well. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited. Have you guys listened to the album? Like the whole album?
Yes.
Yes.
How'd you like it in
We
one
have
word?
notes. Yes.
How'd you like it? Yes. How about you, Iro?
Ang tawag dito. I know naman yung the title track Mr. Mr. from
Yep.
SNSD. So, yun lang. Nagulat ako for how good din yung B-sides of that
I love
album, of
it.
that EP.
We're gonna agree on a lot of things on that album. I'm excited. All right, let's cap things off with this. So let me ask Iro first. Iro, and probably Rocky, obviously you can comment on this, but since you've been a fan for 8 years now? This is marking your 8th year? Or 8th year, right?
Almost 8 years. It's
Yeah,
2013,
almost 8
yeah.
years. So you've been here for a while. What's something you miss about the previous generations? Because 2013, probably that's the end of the second gen and then start of the third gen kind of year. So what's something you miss about previous generations? Since obviously your show mostly tackles about throwback songs and albums and everything in between. So is there something musically and personality wise that you kind of miss from the old gens?
Just like I said earlier, na I missed yung K-pop na unapologetically K-pop from the second gen and early third gen, like what SNSD did for I Got a Boy and EXO did for Mama, and yung mga Ring Ding Dong and everything. Kasi
Right.
it's very that. It's very K-pop for me is very that. So nung nag-evolve siya right now with like this and that, pero like it's continually growing and continually improving naman. Pero yun nga, na-miss ko yung sound na kinasanayan ko before.
How say you, Rocky? Is there something that, let's tweak the question a little bit. Is there something that you liked seeing from the older generations that you're not seeing now?
The same then. I miss the distinct K-pop sound, but there's something about K-pop back then that when you listen to it, you know it's K-pop. Now, when you listen to, if there are no lyrics, you wouldn't be able to tell that it's K-pop. So
Right.
actually, I'll tell it when we discuss later, Mr. Mr. Pero there are some songs here that parang manage to blend the distinct K-pop sound of back then to more modern Western sound today.
Right.
So I like the album.
You really like the album. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm glad that they actually did. So I get what you guys mean. However, when it comes to personality, is there something that you can comment on that? Is there something there's
Yeah.
something very different?
Yeah, there's something very different way back. Kasi like way back, like hindi pa masyadong in yung social media or yung or the idea of social
Right.
media, of the views of ano. Kasi before like they are them. Parang they act as if na tao sila, like wala silang
Mm-mm.
pake. Right now kasi parang meron silang napag-usapan din namin to sa previous episodes na currently the new groups have this distinct image or distinct brand. It's all about branding na they will fit into that box. Tapos mahirap na sila mag-branch out into like variety shows or like
Mm.
acting kasi dun sila na box out, and the audience or like the listeners will tend to create this idea na they are that. So if may magawa silang mali or masabi silang mali or puntan silang different,
Mhm.
parang ang laki nung backlash na nangyayari. So yun din yung isa sa different things. Kasi yung ganon, yun din yung isang, I think, different from before and right now, yung effect of social media.
Mhm. You know when this
Feeling ko rin the idols are very controlled when it comes to their social media. Parang iba walang
That's right.
Instagram,
That's right.
or they're
Yes.
not very active sa Twitter. So
That's right.
yun ang weird lang.
You know, I recently transitioned from being a podcaster to a TikTok simp. I don't post videos, nothing like that. I just watch a lot of videos, like every fucking day, and then I feel that a lot of the idols should cross that platform. Although, like what Rocky said, you know, it's a bit controlled. Up until now, it's still controlled. Back then, like they used to had this. I don't know, Rocky, if you know this, but Airo probably does. Pero back then, they had this rule na parang 3 years into being an idol, bawal ka magka-cellphone. That was back then.
Yes.
Akala ko jowa lang.
Hindi, bro. Jowa is a different thing. Jowa is like, until you're an idol, putang ina, you can't fucking date. So that was that back then. And like in their 4th year, dun lang ata sila nagkakaroon ng cellphone, and that doesn't mean that you can have a social media account already. So imagine the struggles that they had to go through. And I feel that one of the idols, you know, a good idol, Sorn, if you know her from CLC, she's in TikTok, and then sometimes she posts about idol life, and they say that they're being watched by CCTV 24/7.
Yeah. Kasi parang I know Sworn from Dive Studios, I think, when she
Yeah.
guested dun sa
Kay
show
ano,
ni Jay.
kay Jay, yeah. Mm-mm.
where are or something. Basta yung sa Dive
Yeah,
Studios. Yeah.
So yeah,
Ayun yung
it's
hirap
horrible.
right now. Like,
Yeah.
they are being monitored. Crazy.
Crazy,
So
yeah.
crazy.
Big Brother shit.
Oh, pare, Big Brother shit. Parang, what the fuck? Parang bakit ganun? Bakit kailangan, why do you have to monitor 24/7? Obviously, probably sa mga CR hindi na, di ba? Pero, dude, to put you under surveillance 24/7? Pucha, that might take a toll on their. That's probably why a lot of idols feel mentally drained when it comes to being an idol, because of that kind of thing. Kasi parang they're really putting you under a microscope, almost literally. Kasi
Yeah.
they're putting you there. Na okay, do what you want to do, but no, I'm watching you. It's like shit. What can't I do? Parang alam mo yun, anong hindi ko po pwede pang gawin? It's like, you guys are watching me 24/7. I can't even have like a decent life. And you know, obviously kasi meron ding may parameters din yun, but I'm really not a big fan. I feel bad for them. Anyway, so as a final topic, you guys. So to cap off the show, because you guys review songs and albums and whatnot, what's your top 3 best songs in K-pop? Do you have like that kind of ranking
Wait.
so far for you,
Okay.
Rocky and Airo?
Of
Like
all time.
of all time, of all time. Sorry, I caught you off guard. This is not part of the topic. Pero yeah, I wanna.
I'll go first.
Yeah, go first, Airo.
I'll go first. Like from the top of my mind, like
Yeah.
Afraid by Day6, especially the Sungjin demo on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Home Run by 17.
Oh yeah, that's a good song.
And Groove by EXO. Dun sa Obsession album nila.
Wow, Groove
from
over
Obsession.
Monster.
Yeah, Groove. I really like Groove. Like Groove is the best EXO song for me.
Oh man, the best EXO song for me would be probably Growl. Probably.
Growl is my what is it?
That's
Entrance
their-
gate to EXO.
Yeah,
that,
I
that
feel like-
started me.
Yeah, I
It
feel like that's their
started me for
song. Parang if I were to probably introduce EXO to a person, it's like, hey, give me a group from this boy group called EXO. Dude, listen to Growl. Feeling ko yun yung
And-
kagad na papasok sa isip ko.
Yeah, and watch their music video of Growl.
Right, yung one take music video. Yeah, I love that. I love that music video.
Then, i-joke niyo sila. Ang next mo ipanood is Wolf or History by EXO.
You know what? I would never do that. I you know what ruined it for me sa Wolf? It feels,
Yeah, I get it.
ugh, man. You could have mixed it better. I don't know. How about you, Rocky? To cap off the show.
Yeah. So yeah, Afraid din by Day6. I really like it. Then I'm just going off kung ano yung mga na-discuss namin sa podcast. If I Were You by 21.
Okay.
Right.
Wow.
B-side. Also, Look by Red Velvet, another B-side.
Yeah, that's a good song. Look was a good song.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm not a big fan of the red concept of Red Velvet, and people know this.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't like it. I like the Velvet concept better.
Wait, Velvet is the R&B side.
Yes.
Or
right.
like the more mature side.
Yeah, the more
I
mature
like,
side.
I like Velvet more.
Yeah,
than Red.
I don't like the red. However, so back then I hated Oompa Oompa. So really hated Oompa Oompa. And then I never really listened to the whole song due to the intro. So this is basically me saying that really don't judge a book by its cover. Kasi the intro of Oompa Oompa, if you don't know Oompa Oompa, it's like Oompa Oompa, parang ganun. You can hear Oompa Oompa, and it's really irritating. So I didn't listen to the whole song. But then when I listened to the whole song, okay, maganda pala siya.
I have also this same thing with Zimzalabim of Red Velvet.
Man, I
like,
hate
diba,
that
the
song.
intro is like, are you ready? Zimzalabim! Tapos parang, oh my god, no, stop.
Yeah, I hate
Then
that song.
parang recently I had a Zimzalabim phase. Like, I really love Zimzalabim because when I listen to it, it's like, I got a boy. I'm always like that. It's like I got a boy of SNSD. And apparently it was patterned from I got a boy of SNSD.
Oh, was it?
So, yeah, it was. So, supposedly, I think, parang the producer was writing Zimzalabim for SNSD kasi nga,
Probably.
it was, inspired by I Got a Boy.
Mm-mm.
So, pero nga, sadly, unfortunately, SNSD,
Yeah, are
quote-unquote,
not here
disbanded.
anymore.
Quote-unquote.
Are not
Kasi
here
like,
anymore.
SM doesn't want to disband their groups. As I mean, general knowledge yun, hindi sila nag-disband ng groups. So,
Yeah, they
except for FX, sadly, FX.
Oo nga pala.
RIP.
Yeah. Yeah, FX RIP. However, yeah, it goes to show, even Shinhwa, it feels like, obviously, Shinhwa hasn't disbanded yet. There's still the Shinhwa company. Pero Shinhwa started with SM. So,
Yeah.
that was like a Gen 1 group. I don't know, Rocky, if you know them, but they're a really, really talented group. They sing live.
Ooh.
Always live. Like, lahat sila, 6 members, lahat sila nag-yosi, umiinom, hingal na, pero pucha, live pa rin, pare. Piyok ka na kung piyok, pero live pa rin. There's something about Shinhwa which I really, really respect. And plus, they're really tremendous dancers. And their songs aren't bad as well. It's like, they're super good. You should listen to you should review Gen 1, like,
Yeah, wala
albums.
pang nagsasuggest
Wala
na
pa
Gen
yung-
1.
yeah,
Or
we're
feeling ko wala
looking
ring
for
friends
Gen 1.
kami na they don't know
Dude,
much about Gen 1
after this
songs.
after my guesting later on, if you guys don't have any guest, kunin niyo ako ulit. I'll give you a Gen 1 album. Sincerely, it's a great stepping stone when it comes to K-pop. And I don't listen to Gen 1 groups only. I listen to the, like, yung mga solo artists. Kasi most ng Gen 1 puro mga small groups or solos
Yeah.
So, yeah, the biggest group probably would be Candy, HOT. They're probably the biggest Gen 1 group. Next would be SES. I don't know if you guys know SES from SM. They released a song recently, like around 2 years ago. It's like a Gen 1 group releasing a full album.
How did it go?
The title track was great. I didn't like the album. But you probably know the song. Na, 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 na. Do you know that song?
Mister.
Okay, fair enough. Let's get out of here. Before we go, guys, please invite the listeners of my podcast to listen to yours. I'll give you the floor.
Rocky,
Go Airo. So yeah, we have a podcast releases every Thursday noon. The Untitled K-pop Podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, also on Anchor.
Hell
So yeah, we review K-pop albums that I haven't listened to at all. So yun.
So
This season we have games now.
Oh, you guys have games now. Wait, I'm a bit curious before we go. So every episode, there's a new album. And all of these albums you haven't listened to. So, in your downtime, wala kang pinapakinggan na ibang album?
Yung the groups that I like, I listen to their other albums. So Day 6, I listen to. And ITZY. Pero I don't seek out I never seek out the K-pop songs.
Oh, shit.
As Stray Kids, I accidentally listened to one song sa YouTube kasi it automatically played. So, yeah. So, Stray Kids, I'm listening to now.
Ah, okay. That's interesting. So, in your downtime, parang I can't imagine not listening to other songs or groups and doing it all on purpose, might I add. Kasi like...
I'm listening to other podcasts. Kasi
yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's what I do as well. I mostly listen to Good Times with Mo. Do you guys listen to that?
No.
Yeah,
No.
I listen to Good Times with Mo. I listen to like wrestling podcasts. Other K-pop podcasts I listen to like what I said, Spill the Soju. The girls there are really awesome. And basketball podcasts. Yun yung mga usually ko pinapakinggan. Other than that, yeah, mostly K-pop na. And I had that slump. I had that plateau where I didn't listen at all. Parang naglaylo ako. And then,
that's a common thing ata, no, Airo? Parang a few of our guests talagang may time that they don't listen to K-pop.
Parang circa 2015? 2015,
around that
2017.
Man. To be honest, like what I said earlier, it gets boring.
It's getting saturated.
Yeah.
At the point.
Yeah. I feel bad. Anyway, but I feel thankful as well kasi I got to experience what most people wasn't able to experience, which is the old school K-pop. And I'm thankful because I listened to the likes of like Kara, SNSD, 21, even the older groups like Super Junior, Big Bang. I got to listen to them and see them in their prime. Imagine in a music show like ang mga naglalaban 21, Big Bang, SNSD, fucking Miss A, who's
Orange
2PM.
Caramel.
Orange Caramel, fuck.
I really love them.
Oh man, Catalina was. So yeah, guys, if you guys like to listen to podcasts and want to have that trip down memory lane for when it comes to the songs, check them out. The Untitled K-pop Podcast. You can follow them on Twitter at Untitled K-pop Pod, and you can check out their podcast anchor.fm/Untitled K-pop Pod as well. Airo and Rocky, you guys have been awesome. Thank you so much for guesting on the pod.
Thank you.
And again, this will be available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and we'll see you again next week for another show. I think we'll be having I don't even know who we're having next. I think we're having we're having IU Philippines on the next pod, which is super great. Some of the representatives from IUPH will be joining us on the pod as well. They got the most amount of views
when it comes to an episode here on our pod, and hopefully we can break that record because of like ang dami talaga nakinig. So you guys should listen in. That will be dropping next week. And again, Airo, Rocky, thank you, and we'll see you again soon. You should guest again soon. We gotta do this, and probably next time we'll have more to talk about BTS. That's the show, you guys. Thank you so much for listening, and again, we'll see you again soon. Bye.
Annyeong.
The Kingdom Podcast is executively produced by The Voice DJ Yuuki and co-engineered by senior producer Jason Aguayo. Special thanks to the Kingdom Podcast creative team. You can like us on Facebook, Twitter, and Anchor at The Kingdom Pod PH. All episodes are available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, and any of the platforms you use to listen to podcasts. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.